got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
My dog went flying through the air over the trees. I don't know how it did it.
From baffling missing 411 cases that leave us questioning reality to the elusive and legendary creatures like Bigfoot, we are here to discuss it all.
By God, if a hand come from the other side of that fence, grab this thing by the head and neck, just one-timed it.
1 o'clock in the morning, I'm awakened by lights. Bright lights. I'm talking about, Josh, the lights were so bright, it looked like daytime, so I thought it was the morning.
There's just something going around, attacking our sheep. And my grandma used to talk about this guy, Ketso, that means, Bigfoot in our language, so.
If you have ever found yourself captivated by the unexplained or intrigued by the mysterious, you are in the right place. Welcome to Mysteries Unknown.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live from Mysteries Unknown. It's been a minute. It's good to see everybody in the chat. But what's up, Daniel?
What's up, buddy? Hey, everybody. How's it going?
It's good to see everybody. Foot Clan, good to see you. Daryl, good to see you. Alexandria, always good to see you.
Pork chops and applesauce.
Yeah, Greasebag McQueen, good to see you. You guys, we got a good show for you tonight, a good live. We're going to be going over some different encounters from across the U.S. We got some good ones lined up for you. Daniel, as always, has got a lot of stories that he's been sitting on that we're going to be talking about, and just deep diving into all that, catching up with everybody, and hoping everybody's doing good. Bigfoot Society, what's going on, buddy? It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody out there. It's been a minute. We've had a lot of stuff going on, but he wants to know, is anybody else going to the Nebraska Bigfoot conference this weekend? That would be awesome.
Daryl Denton is. His flight got canceled or delayed, but he's trying to get out there.
Well, I heard there's a lot of good stuff. That's a pretty good conference. So let us know how it goes, Jeremiah. I'd love to hear about it and hope you guys have a really good time. But it's awesome to see everybody. It's good to see you, Ashes. Steamboat, good to see you, buddy. Dave Clark, good to see you. First time on the live. Awesome. If you guys, this is your first time popping on this channel, every Monday I drop an episode every single Monday where I interview somebody and they talk about their encounter. So that's always a good time. And then Daniel, why don't you plug your channel, buddy?
Well, if it's your first time, you guys haven't, if you don't know who I am, I'm the co-host on the lives, and I have a podcast. It's called the Cryptid Podcast. It can be found on YouTube and heard on Spotify.
Guys, check him out. If you love this channel, you're going to absolutely love his channel. Me and Daniel go way back. We were talking about this last night. I think he was the 9th guest I had on my show. We hit it off right away, and the rest is history. So we try to do these lives as often as we can. We've had a pretty big hiatus. A lot of stuff been going on. But things are settled down a little bit, so we should be able to get more on a schedule. So, but you guys listen. This channel is all about Bigfoot, cryptids, things like that, and we're going to deep dive into some stories. So, should be a good night for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy these lives. So, don't forget, every Monday I drop an episode that's more of an interview style, and we just do these lives on Thursdays. We were doing them every single Thursday. But hopefully we can get more on a set schedule. But Daniel, you're dropping your content twice a week now?
Nope. Right now it's still Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then once a month I drop a Saturday episode, which members of my channel get an early access to that. But awesome. Starting what date are we looking at here? Starting May 5th. Starting May 5th, I'm going to start dropping it 2 days a week.
Gotcha.
And then I'm thinking about this Saturday, you guys. I'm gonna attempt to do my very first live, so I will be sending out just notifications that that's coming out. And then when I start dropping new content starting May 5th, I'm looking at possibly like a Tuesday, Thursday drop.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, go show them some love. I mean, it puts, there's a lot of work that goes into what we do, and it's a lot of fun, and we're very fortunate to be able to do what we do and to have you guys along for the ride. So we've missed everybody. It's been a minute since we've done a live, so it's good to see everybody. But we got a lot of encounters lined up for you guys, and so just real quick, a couple housekeeping things. If you've got an encounter you would like to send me, you can send it to me by email at mysteriesunknownpodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to drop a thing at the bottom of the screen there. You can see there. And then Daniel, give me your address, man, if they've got something they will send you.
Yeah, if anybody wants to send me something to read or to hold on to, or if you'd like to come on the show, you can reach me at the Cryptid Podcast 72 at gmail.com. The
Awesome.
Cryptid
Hey,
Podcast 72 gmail.com.
Yeah, guys, send us your encounters. That's the bloodline of these shows. So Jason is in the house, and for you guys who don't know, he's been on my channel and Daniel's. Phenomenal guy. Had a really, really interesting encounter. So it's good to see you, buddy. And also thanks for your service. Let's see here. Lots of people in the chat. Lots of people first time here. If this is your first time, let us know. Wade Fisher, it's good to see you, buddy.
Hey, let me answer this question right here. Is it Lila? For Josh's story, you can go to the Cryptid Podcast, and it is episode number 1.
You can find my story there.
And
I don't talk about it a whole lot.
Squatch Medic's like a brother of mine. That dude, him and I've had some really long conversations. So, yeah, he's a good dude.
Cool. Really, really good guy. We've met a lot of good people in this community. So, Michelle, good to see you. Everybody, just thanks for the support, and I hope everybody's doing well. And just it's good to see all the familiar faces. So, hey, good. Let's see, Marjorie Rollins, good to see you. Welcome aboard. So, Bobby, I'm glad that you're here. It's always good to see Ashley Stantix. He's a great guy. But man, I know we got a lot of cool encounters to get into. I know that sometimes people send us emails and they don't want to come on the show, but they want to get their encounters out there, and so we try our best to do that. But Wade, I still have not. I will let you know as soon as I do that, man. As soon as I get something, I will definitely let you know. Sean's good to see you. But man, you want to start off first? Everybody, I'm sure everybody misses your voice. They're ready to hear you read. So.
Well, should I? Yeah, you know what? I'll read that email that I got that I read to you and Stacy last night.
It's wild, guys. This story is pretty crazy. You're gonna really enjoy it. It's really good.
Okay. All right, maybe get a little bit of light going on here. I want to try to keep my mood lighting, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
There you go.
There we go. All right, guys. Now I got this in an email. And the person asked to remain anonymous. They gave themselves just a random initials. They did say that, and I'll just read it. Hi, Daniel. My name is Casey, and I am reaching out from Maryland. Due to my professional life, I wish to remain anonymous and have chosen Casey to be referred as. I have no desire to share this outside of this email. However, if you feel this is a worthy encounter, then feel free to share on your podcast. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Josh, is this not a worthy encounter?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's yeah, you guys are going to enjoy it. It's a good one.
I wanted to share an encounter I had back in the late summer of 1996, an experience that still haunts me to this day. I was 15 years old at the time, and my uncle and I traveled north into Pennsylvania to camp deep in the, I can't pronounce it, Michaux, Mishaw. I want to say Mishaw. Mishaw State Forest. We planned to stay a couple of nights at a primitive campsite way off the beaten path. My uncle was 20 at the time. We were close, more like brothers than uncle and nephew. The first day was peaceful, just the normal sounds of the forest and the free feeling of being disconnected from everything. But things changed on day 2. While we were hiking, we spotted something in the distance. A huge man like creature, completely covered in long, wavy, cream colored hair, kind of like coffee mixed with a heavy dose of creamer. It was wading through the stream. The water was 3 to 4 feet deep, but it only came up to this creature's knees. That's how big it was. My uncle, without thinking, let out a sharp whistle to get its attention. It hesitated for a split second and then it just bolted. I mean, lightning fast. It splashed across the rest of the stream and vanished into the trees like it was nothing. We were stunned by how fast it moved. Whatever it wasn't struggling in the water. It was gliding through it effortlessly. That thing had power and speed that just didn't make sense to me. We rushed back to camp, excited but also shaken. We didn't think we'd see it again, not after the way it took off into those woods. We figured that was it. We had no idea what was coming. That night, it came back. We were jolted awake by deep, heavy footfalls. Then came the growls and the grunts, low and primal sounding. It rattled our bones. Something began shaking our tent hard. It pulled on it, tore at it like it was trying to drag it off. Outside, we heard our gear being tossed around, our coolers dumped, everything crashing and breaking. It was total chaos. All we could do was sit there frozen in terror, barely able to breathe. When daylight finally crept in, everything went quiet. We slowly unzipped the tent, which was now half collapsed, and saw the aftermath. Our campsite was trashed. We didn't even talk. We just packed up whatever we could that wasn't destroyed and started moving out fast, heading back towards the truck. But the scariest part wasn't the night before, it's what happened on the way out. As we were moving through the woods, pushing ourselves to get out of there as fast as we possibly could, we heard it. A whistle. The exact same whistle my uncle had used the day before, only this time it wasn't coming from him. It was behind us, and it followed us. The whistles echoed through the trees like a warning or a threat. It felt like we were being driven out, like it wanted us gone and was making sure that we didn't turn back. Whatever we saw must have stood between 7 and 8 feet tall. It was lean but jacked like a linebacker. That cream color, the hair, the speed, it's something that I'll never forget. This wasn't just an animal, and it sure as hell wasn't a person. Daniel, thank you for creating a place where people can finally talk about this stuff. I know what I saw. We both did. Stay safe out there, Casey.
It's the stuff that keeps you up at night, man. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, man. I don't know what you do with some of this stuff. When you really think about these encounters and you start to put these pieces together, kind of like how, you sit in this chair and you hear all this stuff and, you realize that 99.9% of the time, just in my opinion, that if you've got an encounter with one, you see one, you have a class A, class B, whatever it is, there's probably a few that are out there really close by. And you just think about how fast these things could just make you gone if they wanted to.
Oh, for sure.
It just wouldn't be anything. And I was having a conversation with a guest this week, and we were talking about how, mean, obviously you want to protect yourself, but people go out and they're like, I'm going to go out there and shoot one of these things, man. You better think twice about that, because if you did get a lucky shot off at one, man, what's coming next? Good luck.
Well, I look at it this way. If I'm armed, I don't think that, and I saw one before, I would have probably thought I was a hero or something like that. But now, knowing what I know now, there's just not one. There's just not one of these things out there, you know. If you think there's only one, then you are really kidding yourself.
Yeah. I look back at my first encounter that I had, and I know there was another one out there with the thing now, it makes sense, but I don't know, man. It's so strange. I think these things run in packs, and I think they're extremely territorial. And I think 9 times out of 10, they just want you out of their area. But I mean, and we've talked about on this channel a lot, and we'll preface this by saying, like, I'll say this now, like, I'm not saying that every missing 411 person is related to a cryptid, but I think some of these cases are. But for everyone that's like that, there's 100 that is just where they're pacing you out. They want you to leave. They don't want you to be there. So it makes you wonder what that difference is. Why, if that is the case, why some people make it out and some people don't, man. Maybe they just run into the wrong one, or they do something to make these things mad. I don't know, man. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, you and I, we've talked about this before. You and I, we kind of look at these missing 411 cases, we have a different view on them just because of our background. I'm very, I don't know, clinical and also cynical at the same time about it, because I want to look at everything. I think a small part of any of these missing 401, and I mean a small part, may have something to do with the cryptid, but for the most part, it's the weather, it's the environment. It could be a wild animal, it could be the person's mental state, or more so foul play. So
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. I was talking to Daryl Denton. I guess it's been a month or two or longer. We were talking about that, and he thinks that there's something else besides these things, besides a person, besides a cryptid. There's something, or maybe a different type of cryptid that could have something to do with this stuff. But until you've had an encounter with one of these creatures and you see how big they are and how fast they can move, it's just hard to it's hard to put that into words. I mean, and you're out there in the middle of the woods. Speaking of fast, see if I can find the right video. We pulled this up a handful of times. Watch the movement of this creature. It's so fluid, and you can see how fast it could take you if it wanted to. So check this out, guys. I mean, if that thing wanted to turn the other way and take those people off, it wouldn't be hard pressed for it to do it.
Oh, for sure.
In my opinion, but it changes your perspective on the woods. I mean, it definitely does. I think that it changes the way you look at stuff. And then Steamboat's always here in the chat. His encounter was wild, man. He had one of these things chase him on a motorcycle. Like, it's absolutely bananas what happened with him. And, Dave, you're right. No way you're going to outrun one of these things, man. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, it's a pretty strange world. But I've got another story pulled up here, and if I can get to it, here. I'll read this. Guys, if you've ever got a story that you want to send to us, you can always email me at mysteriesunknownpodcast@gmail.com. If you don't want to come on the show, I'd be happy to read it. Daniel, what's your email, man? Throw it out there, buddy.
The cryptopodcast72@gmail.com. And again, just like Josh said, if you want to come on the show, by all means, I'd love to have you on. But if you just want to get a story off your chest, you want me to narrate it on an episode or on a live, I'd be more than happy to. Or if you just want to tell somebody just to get that release, yeah, I'll keep that for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely do that. This is a safe place for people to share their encounters. But this person emailed me and they were like, I do not have any desire to come on the show, but I absolutely want you to read my encounter. They're going to go by Rosemary is what they decided to go by. So whether that's the real name or not, I don't know, but that's what they sent me. And so anyways, here we go. So I'm a Tennessee girl, been here in southern middle Tennessee most of my life. We were 15 minutes away from the Alabama state line. That's where we lived at the time of my first encounter. Now I'm 55. At the time of this encounter, I was 12, had a little sister who was 9, and a newborn little brother. I have to include that my little brother is no longer with us. He passed away in 2016 I unexpectedly lost my mother just months prior. All the grief nearly got the best of me, but our amazing Lord Jesus Christ helped me through. Anyways, at 12, we lived in Coldwater, Tennessee. You know where that's at, Daniel? I know you know a lot of places in Tennessee.
Oh, I don't.
Okay. Very rural back then. Every homestead was very spread out. On this day, it was summer of 1982. We had a big circle. We had a big circle that we rode bikes on. Part of this big circle was part of our driveway, and about 8 feet from the driveway were some tall grass and weeds. Behind those weeds was a hay field and in thick woods. We would all jump on our bikes and ride around, and then the second time coming around the area, something catches my eye. Just subtle movement. So I paddled hard because there was a little rise, and I just stopped paddling and stand holding my bike when I see what I told my mother was a big black creature squatted in the tall weeds watching me and my sister. I tell you what really snapped me out of the trance was when it showed its teeth. I didn't even say anything to my sister. She just immediately followed. She said it let out a short, shallow yell and she let out a short, shallow yell and flew into my house. My mom said I was tripping over my words and I couldn't breathe, but I don't remember that. He didn't smile or frown. It was like he had something stuck in his teeth. My mom put my brother down and walked out to the porch with a pistol, but she didn't see anything. Now seeing how huge it was, he had taken that little 22 from her and chewed it up and swallowed it. He was gigantic. Me and my sister remember that sometimes around that encounter, we would hear pebbles thrown at the windows and someone shaking a screen door knob. I just remember being terrified after it got dark. I didn't even want to sleep in any bedroom unless it was our parents. My mom would make us a pallet on the floor because we were so scared. Eventually things just got chill and we didn't have anything else happen. But now, remembering back, that I thought it was it's the first time I read this email. First time I saw it, I didn't think it was Sasquatch. Not till years later. Sometime in my early 30s, I see something on television, and it was just the same. It was the same thing I saw. I learned that just like the human species, there can be different breeds of these creatures, and they all look different. Now, after looking at the BFRO database, I see encounters close to us. So we go to this area to hang out several times in November of 2024. There are 2 separate reports on this old road that reports in Delrose, Tennessee. It's not even a road. So we are roaming in the area between Delrose and Coldwater, Tennessee. So one night we are back on the old logging road, hanging out by an old abandoned house. I grab the door handle to step out, me and my son hear something pivot in the dead leaves and hurried away on two legs. So I jumped back in. My son looks like he had just seen a ghost, white, his eyes wide. He said he did. He said, "Did you hear the footsteps running towards us?" I said, "Yes, but it sounded like it was running away from us." Now it's pitch black outside. You can't see anything. So we are sitting there with the doors locked, windows up. We were discussing, what if we see a Sasquatch looking in one of our windows? All of a sudden, we hear wood being pulled from the old house. It was not a stick smashed against a tree. It was wood being pulled from the house. Something with a hand was ripping wood out of the old house. My son was done after we heard that. He said, "I'm ready to get out of here." To be honest, I was so scared. The blood pressure shot up so fast. My head felt like it was going to explode, along with my heart. So she goes on to say, thanks for letting her send that. And there's a couple of little things in her story that I'm kind of saving for a show, but I wanted to read that to you guys, man. That was pretty wild. I figured, Daniel, you might know where that area is at. I've never heard of those two places, but pretty crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that area, but that's crazy. When you hear things like that and you have multiple people, that's what I like to hear. I like to hear any encounter for real, unless it's so outlandish. You're like, no.
So what's the craziest encounter that you've ever heard? That you just
like someone told me or I ran across?
No, personally, somebody sent to you or told you.
Really, I haven't had anything that's been like super crazy.
Hey, I've been pretty fortunate. The only thing I've had that's just been way out there is I set up an interview, guys. And sometimes when we do these interviews, we don't really know. And I'm sure you're this way, Daniel. I like to hear the encounters firsthand while I'm interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear about it first. I want to hear it when I'm interviewing them. I had this guy on the show, and let's just say that he had smoked a little bit too much of something, and he was so all over the place, high as a kite. And anyways, that interview never saw the light of day. I still have it, but it'll never see a lot of day on this channel. But it was the craziest thing, man. You just never know what you're going to get. So, but I've been really fortunate. I've had some great people come on the show and come on here. So speaking of that, if you guys want to come on the show, you can always email me, mysteriesunknownpodcast@gmail.com. Drop a brand new episode every single Monday. We'd love to have you on. If you're sitting on an encounter that you've not told or shared, or would just like to get it off your chest, would love to have that. And I'm sure Daniel feels the same way. So
sure, I do. I love getting emails.
Yeah.
Like I love it when I get a notification like, oh, you got an email. I'm like, oh, it's probably crap. And then I open up my email and it's like, hey, I saw an episode and I just felt that I needed to email you because of this. And that's actually, that's what I've got here. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
That's pretty awesome. It's neat when that happens. Hey, I somehow have missed your email, but I will definitely go back through and find it and get connected with you and have you on the show. Guys, if you have sent me an email and I've not gotten back to you, things have just been absolutely insane. The growth of my channel is it's blown me away. I sometimes have a hard time keeping up with all of the messages. So I will absolutely do my best to get to you. Don't worry. If you send me an email, I will get back to you. It might take me a week or so, but I will get back to you. But man, let's see. Thomas wants to know, just think of, or he's saying, how many encounters go unreported? A lot.
I'm saying tens of thousands.
A lot. There's a ton. I think that so many people have seen these creatures and they're just sitting on it because, for one, ridicule. They're afraid to come forward. They don't want to talk about it. And so I think that happens. That happens a lot. A whole lot. I mean, it took me years to talk about mine. A long time. So yeah, that definitely happens a lot. But man, you got another story queued up?
I've got I don't know if you want to call it a legend, a cryptid, a folklore, something like that. You guys ready for this one?
Let's do it.
So tomorrow I have a new episode. Hey, Scott B, new member. I have an episode dropping tomorrow, you guys. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it is crazy. And it made me go in and start kind of searching for what the guest told me. Now, what they told me is they kind of told me a story that was told to them by their very, very, very good friend. And this happened to their very good friend's great grandmother. So, you guys, this is crazy. This is called the Goblin Scarecrow. The Goblin Scarecrow. One of the neat things about the Goblin Scarecrow, from my perspective, at least, is that it's pretty much all purpose as far as Pennsylvania wilds is concerned. Originally seen in the dark skies landscape, it's since moved onto other areas, often inhabiting Allegheny National Forest and surrounds Pine Creek Valley and the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon and Elk County as well. The thing seems to inhabit 4 of the 6 landscapes, making it indigenous to the northern part of the Pennsylvania wilds. The Goblin Scarecrow is described as a demonic-looking scarecrow with tattered clothing stuffed with thousands of creepy, crawly insects. These are held together in the shape of a man by sheer demonic forces of will. Okay, this is being very dramatic here. According to the book, it has gloves that forms claws and a jack-o'-lantern for a head with features that can move and teeth that can bite. The first reported sighting of the Goblin Scarecrow is sometime in the 1950s in Potter County, though it's possible sightings go back long before that. A couple of deer hunters saw the thing as they were out looking for game and wound up getting a bit more adventure than they had bargained for. The terrifying looking creature ran after them, gave a loud, long howl. They shot it, but their bullet had very little effect. The bullet passed through its body, revealing worms and beetles inside the thing. That incident was reported almost 70 years ago. Since then, the creature has traveled throughout the state of Pennsylvania, sometimes being spotted as far south as Bucks County in the Pennsylvania wilds. It seems to mostly stick to the northernmost part of the state. Sightings of the Goblin Scarecrow have been reported in McKean, Tioga, and Elk counties. At times, the Goblin Scarecrow chases and attacks people, and at other times, it simply stands and screams its banshee-type howl before disappearing into the night. All the information on the Goblin Scarecrow mentions these specific counties, but never explains why. Why would there be sightings in only those counties? What do they have in common? All 4 counties are remote, heavily forested areas. All of them have a lot of dark woods, prime space for a scary legend to grow. But there's something else in common as well. To some extent, all 4 counties were settled by people coming down from the north. Settlers coming from New York, New England, and Maine were some of the earliest people to settle those areas.
Some wild stuff out there, man. I think that when you have that kind of stuff, man, those are just demonic stuff. And I think that it's just fallen angel, something like that, because they can shapeshift, they can change the way they look, those kind of stuff. But man, it's there's a lot of strange things, man, in God's universe. I don't understand. I never will understand. But that's pretty wild. What are your thoughts on it, man?
That right there, I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, if I were to see something like that, I probably be terrified, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty scary, man. I mean, Yeah, listen, if you guys who have not heard, Daniel's encounter was something that is absolutely, I would say, out of all your encounters, this one is probably the creepiest, man. You know which one I'm talking about. Um, you should tell them that if they've not heard that, guys. You should hear this encounter, man. You up for sharing it?
Well, which one? The rake?
Yeah,
Oh, that one?
yeah.
If y'all want to hear that story, um, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't want to hear that story and want us to move on to another encounter or whatever, put a 2.
Yeah, you want to hear it. You
Scott,
want to hear it.
hey Scott, I have never done a live, but I'm planning on doing a live this Saturday. What time? I'm not sure because I'm gonna be busy all day Saturday, but I'm gonna definitely try to do my first live Saturday.
Man, that's going to be so cool. I think you'll do great, man. I think you'll do really good. Go tell them about your channel for everybody who's on here and they've not, I'm sure they've heard of it. If they've been on the live, they've heard about your channel, but you
Well,
need to let them know about it.
I'm seeing a ton of new names on here, like a ton, and I love seeing all the new names coming in on the live. You guys, my podcast is the Cryptid Podcast, and yeah, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify. I actually started the channel October 18th. I posted my first video, my first episode, which was Josh's episode number 1. That was like between November 5th and November 7th. And I just wanted to do it to have fun. I wanted something to do, I have a full-time job. I never thought that, if I got 500 subs, I was going to be ecstatic with it. I'm sitting at over 2,400 subs right now. I didn't expect it to blow up like it has. So like in 6 months, it's taken off, and I owe all of you guys. I'm at 2,430 right now. And I
Awesome.
just want to say thank you so much for everybody in the chat that has been a guest on my show, has subscribed to my show, has I really appreciate it. I don't like to.
Yeah.
I don't know, you guys. I'm kind of humble, so.
Well, you're a great guy, man. Like you're very trustworthy, and people can sense that. They know that, and so you have to be that and have that to do this. So you definitely got that in spades, man. So and I've been.
But I have a goal. I have a goal, and I've got, what's today? The 24th, 25th.
I think today's the 24th.
So I've got until Tuesday, because I think Wednesday's the 1st. Yeah, Wednesday's the 1st, I think. Is Wednesday the 1st?
Don't know.
No, Thursday's the 1st. So by the 30th, you guys, I'd like to try to get 70 more subscribers. And the reason being, I wanted to hit 2,500 subscribers by the end of April. So if anybody there can, if you haven't already, copy my link, put it out there, send it out to your friends, and just say, hey, if you guys really want to check out, if you think it's a good channel, just go ahead and see if you can get other people to subscribe, and then just kind of watch the videos and give it a like. So, but okay, we've got overwhelming 1s in the chat. I saw 0 2s.
You got to tell it.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn that out. How you guys like that new background? I got going on, the mood lighting and stuff. So
it's moody.
Okay. So the summer before my senior year, so it'd be 1989. I was back living in Tennessee, and all I'm just gonna say is Shelby County. I'm not gonna say the exact area. And I had a friend from my freshman year, because I went to the same high school my freshman year and my senior year. And so contacted my buddy, hey, I'm back in town. He's like, dude, you got to come over. So, and when I first lived there, I used to be at his house all the time. So I was real comfortable with his family. His family's really comfortable with me. So it was kind of like a second home. And so whenever we'd go over there, it was on a big farm. He had a lot of woods around it. He had a different type of grow plots where they grew like cotton, soybeans, sometimes corn, things like that. And we would ride mini bikes all throughout the woods, and I come over, and his dad, I'll call his dad Ernie, and I come in. He's like, "Boy, don't you got something better to do? Hang around my house and eat my food and run up my electric bill, stuff like that." He's just giving me a hard time. He wasn't being serious or being mean. And so me and my buddy, we decided to go into the barn and get some mini bikes, and we started riding our mini bikes around. Now, his backyard was huge. His dad did very well in farming, but I think he also at one time was like a diesel mechanic or something like that. Because at the end of the story, you'll understand why, because he had connections with people. But so we would never ride through the backyard. The backyard was easily a half an acre, maybe. And it was all put sod down and everything. So it was very, very beautiful green grass. So there's a little like access road that goes off through the woods. And this wood is like a 20-acre plot. You'd go through the woods, and then it would go out to where he had all of his crops. And so we went along this little access road, and we went zipping through the woods. And, we had been out pretty much all day. Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. Yep.
Hey, listen, if you're going to get on here and comment, you need to be very, very, very respectful. So one thing about this channel, we don't put up with that stuff. So if you're going to run your mouth, every opinion is welcome here, as long as you're respectful. If not, trust me, you won't last very long. So,
and the thing is you don't understand if people have maybe a condition.
Yeah, I have dyslexia. Just so everybody knows out there. So I mean, that's not acceptable. Anyways,
well, anyway,
pretty quick.
So we're tearing up all over. I mean, it's easily, I'm going to say, maybe 300 acres, if that. It might be a little less, but we were tearing up all over the place. I mean, we'd go out, ride everywhere. Well, it started getting a little late, and before we left, his dad's like, "Hey, listen, me and your mother were going out. Daniel, don't be tearing anything up. And if you need us, we'll be at this number. But yeah, don't call us unless either someone died, the house is on fire. Those are pretty much about it. And don't let the dogs in the house." Like, okay. So as we're making our way back, we notice it's kind of getting a little bit later in the day now, and we weren't really sure when they were going to leave. So we were hoping to get back before they left, hoping to score some money to get like some pizza or something. So we go ripping back through the woods, and now in the middle of these woods, it seemed like it's in the middle of the woods, was an old like farmhouse. It had no windows. It had no doors. It was dilapidated. Nature was taking it back over. We were told to stay away from it, not to go in it, because part of the house could come down. You could go through a ceiling. You can go through the floor. So as we're driving by, my buddy, he's ahead of me, and he kind of slows up and then just guns it and takes off, right? And as I'm going by, I see something or someone standing in one of the front windows. They're just inside the house. They're standing in the window, like they're standing up looking out the window. And so I noticed my buddy taking off, so I gun it. And I get up, and what was really odd, when I caught up with him, he had drove right through the backyard. I followed him right through the backyard. But he didn't go to the barn to drop off the mini bike. He pulled it right up to the back porch and jumped off and like ran up into the house. So I go, "Dude, did you see that? Did you see someone out at the house down there in the woods?" And he's like, "Yeah, why do you think I gunned it and took off?" So I'm like, well, I said, should we go? He's like, no, no, no. He goes, I don't know if we saw something, but I go, bro, I'm pretty sure I saw something. He's like, nah, everything will be fine. So we go and we're in the house now. Mini bikes are still out in the backyard, and he's cooking some food, and I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. I'm doing two things. Okay. I'm sitting in Mr. Eddie's chair, and anybody who's from down south, especially down south, um, if you had a friend, their dad had a chair, and you just don't sit in that chair. Well, I'm sitting in Mr. Eddie's chair, and I'm watching TV, and I've got the remote control, and I'm clicking that thing as fast as I can just to whip through channels, because you're not supposed to do that either. According to him, it would wear out the remote control. So I'm just hammering on those buttons, flipping through channels. And I'd probably been sitting there for a good 20, 30 minutes, and it was dark outside about this time. And where the chair sat, if you're looking straight at the TV, the front door is like right over here off of this wall. So the front door comes in, the TV is right there, huge open area, and then he had his chair. There was a end table with a lamp on it, and it's right next to the window. Now I could have reached out and touched the window. That's how close I was. And so I got my foot up on the leg of his chair again. That's a big no-no. And for some reason, I heard like this scratching noise. And it was like just like scratch, 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 scratch. And I'm like, what is that noise? And I'm thinking it's the TV. So I'm like flipping through the stations. I'm thinking it's like one of the speakers. So I keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And finally, I'm like, I still hear it. And I hear this for like 25, 30 minutes. And finally, I just turn the volume all the way down, and I still hear it. But now I hear it coming from my right side. So I look, and I see this thing like with its face right up to the window. I'm not afraid one bit to admit I screamed like a little schoolgirl. I screamed so loud. My buddy comes rushing out. He's like, what? I said, dude, there's something by the window. There's something was looking in the window. He's like, what are you talking about? And all I can say is it's at the window. It's at the window. He walks up, and I'm thinking he's just kind of look at the window, No. He walks right up. Good Lord, I'm getting some goosebumps, man. He walks right up to the window and puts his face up to the window, and he jumps off that window real quick, and he's like, holy S, I just saw something run away from the window. It ran out towards the back. So he runs into his bedroom, and he grabs an equalizer and a box of freedom seeds, and he throws me an equalizer and a box of freedom seeds, and he has an equalizer and a box of freedom seeds, and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, I'm not going out there. He's like, let's go. So we go out there. We're big and bad. We got freedom seeds and equalizers. So as we go through the kitchen, through the mudroom, we grab a flashlight. Now, he grabbed a flashlight that was on a charger, and it was a big, it almost looked like a lunchbox with a light on it. And all I had was one of these little tiny, lame ones with like C-cell batteries in it. And so as we go taking off the back deck or off the back porch, we hear his dogs. Now, he had 3 farm dogs, and these dogs were big, dirty, nasty dogs. They weren't scared of anything. I've seen coyotes. I've seen other animals walking through their backyard along the edge of the tree line, and those dogs would not even at all. They wouldn't even give them a time of day. But these dogs now were huge, like I said, farm dogs, and they were out there. I couldn't see them. We could hear them. They were barking and losing their minds. We're trying to flash the flashlight. I can't see anything. His has got a better beam, and we can see the dogs now as we're running through the backyard. They're at the end of the backyard, but they're about 10, 15 feet away from the tree line, and they're just barking, and these dogs look like they're ready to fight something. And we're like, what the heck, what's going on? So we're trying to call them, like, come on, boys, come on. And they wouldn't listen to us. We're trying to call them up into the yard to get them away from there because we don't know what it was. And then we hear this loud, like this scream. And I'm like, holy crap, what is that? And as I go to look at my buddy, I see the dogs tearing through the yard, running up towards the house. I look at my buddy and he is in mid-turn and heading towards the house. Now I'm just kind of still standing there like what's going on? And then I hear it moving in the woods. I hear whatever it is, it's coming through the woods. Now, it's not like a bulldozer, but it's making a lot of racket coming through these woods. So I flash the flashlight and I hear my buddy go, "Come on." So I turn around and run, and I'm promising you this. I never saw it coming out of the woods, but every time I would stop and turn around, I'd hear like a growl or, clicking noise, like something like that. Just weird noises coming from this thing. But it was always just outside the beam of my flashlight. Again, I didn't have a great flashlight, but I just kept running. I just took off at a dead run. I go flying up the stairs, shut the door, lock it. We're running around the house, locking doors, pulling curtains, shades. We took his dad's chair and we put it like up into the stairwell that led upstairs, because in our minds we're making a blockade in case this thing jumps up on the house and tries to come in through one of the windows upstairs. That would stop them. We didn't hear anything at all after that. We didn't hear any screaming or scratching or anything trying to come into a house. But we wound up falling asleep in the living room. And the next thing I remember is I get kicked in my foot, and there's Mr. Eddie. And he's like, "What in the effing blah, blah, blah are you guys doing in this effing blah, blah, blah? Why are the dogs?" And he's losing his mind. Because you imagine the sight. There's his son laying on the floor with a shotgun. Here's his friend laying next to him on the floor with the shotgun. And then I've got a massive dog laid across like my torso and my legs. And we have the other dog laying between us because that's everybody just huddled right there for whatever reason. So we get up and we start chattering like a bunch of schoolgirls. "We saw this. And we're trying to tell him. We're both trying to speak at the same time. His dad tells us to shut the hell up. And what? Show me. And we're like, right there, right in that window. It was looking in that window. So he goes, whatever. So he walks out through the back, and you could see him walking. Now we're kind of looking, and he walks around. He kind of looks around. He comes back. He comes back in the house, goes in his room, gets an equalizer with some freedom seeds in a magazine called Outdoor Life. And he goes, "Let's go. Let's go." And we're like, "What do you mean, let's go?" He's like, "We're going to go. We're going to go out in those woods. We're going to see that. We're going to go to that house." And we're like, "We're not going to the house." He goes, "Listen, you said you first saw it when you guys were riding up through the woods." He goes, "I want to see where you saw it." So he's like, "Let's go." So he goes and gets in the farm truck, and we're not. He's like, "Get in the truck now." So we get in the truck and he drives down there. We're trying to coax one of the dogs or the dogs to jump in the back with us, and they weren't having it. You figure if we go down, he kind of pulled just inside the tree line and we kind of walked down to the house. Nope, Mr. Eddie took that truck and he literally drove it right. His bumper was almost touching the front porch. And he gets out and I'm standing up in the truck and he's like, "All right, where did you see it?" And I go, "I saw it right there in that window, right there in that window." He's like, "This one right here." He's like, "Yep." So he gets out, has his equalizer, and he's walking up in the house and he gets up there. Now, when you walk in this house, because I'd been in this house tons of times, you walk in the house, immediately to your right, there's like a little cove or like at least some steps. You have 2 steps that go up on a landing, and then it goes upstairs, and then it's a huge living room, and then it's got like a smaller room off the side of the living room. You go straight, you could see through the front door all the way out to the back door. You go through the door that leads out of the living room, and that's like a dining room area. And then there's like another room off to the side there and a bathroom. And then you walk out through the dining room, and that's the kitchen. Huge kitchen, pantry, and then you had the back door. Now, right before you get to the back door to the right is another set of stairway that goes up. So this house had two ways of going upstairs and two ways of coming downstairs. And as I'm looking over the roof of the truck into the house, I see Mr. Eddie taking off, and he's walking in there, and then all of a sudden I don't see him because it was kind of dark in the house. So he goes walking, and I'm assuming he went all the way into the kitchen, and all of a sudden you hear him holler, "Start the truck, start the truck, start the truck." And you hear him running. And this is a big boy. And he comes running, and by the time my buddy, he's already got the truck, he left the keys in, he started the truck. Mr. Eddie jumps, doesn't walk downstairs, he jumps off the front porch, runs over to the truck, slides in. I'm in the bed. Still in the bed of the truck, and one of the dogs had followed us down there. Got the courage to come down there. Well, Mr. Eddie puts it in reverse, almost hits this dog. This dog takes off. Mr. Eddie takes off. He drives his truck up through his backyard, pulls it right up to the back porch, gets out, goes in and makes a phone call, and like 20, 30 minutes later, you hear this big semi truck coming down the road, and it's hauling a excavator. And he walks out, he talks to the guy, and they unload it, and he drives that excavator down the access road into the woods, and he absolutely leveled that house. Absolutely. It was gone. Now, I tried to talk to my buddy years and years and years, probably 20 years ago. I went home and visited and saw him, and we just started talking. I introduced him, to my daughter, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "do you remember that one time?" He's like, "I don't even want to talk about it, dude. I don't want to even talk about it." And I go, "Well, what do you know?" He goes, "I know exactly what you're going to talk about." He goes, "Nope, not talking about it. I won't." He goes, I asked my dad what he saw or what he heard. He said he will never, ever talk about it. He goes, "It unnerved him so much. That's why he tore that house down." And I said, "Well, did anything happen?" He's like, "Nope, we haven't seen or heard anything." And I said, "Would you tell me if you did?" He's like, "Nope." So that was it.
Wild, man. I've always wondered what he saw. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
What did he see? What in the world was that to make him tear that thing down like that? But also, too, man, how long was that thing sitting there looking at you in the window?
I don't know. Well, dude, like I said, I heard the noise. I'd been sitting there for about a good 20, 30 minutes just messing with the TV. And then another 20 to 30 minutes when I first started hearing the little scratching noise. So I'm thinking it's just trying to figure out a way to get into the house. And I'll tell you right now, I would have emptied every single one of those freedom seeds into that thing.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I mean, yeah, in a heartbeat. That's wild. That story really, when I first heard that, man, it kept me up. Philip Miller wants to know, what do you think it was?
Well, I mean, I'm saying like a rake, but again, I mean, who knows? The easiest way I can describe it, if anybody has seen that Mel Gibson movie Signs, and the alien that is in there is so close to what I saw, except this thing had a wide mouth, wide mouth. And it was like a whitish gray color. And from what I could tell, only thing I saw pretty much was like from maybe here, like its collarbone area, and then up, and then part of its hand from when it would brought it down when I started looking out, when I looked out the window. So yeah, I have zero desire to ever see one of those again. And I mean, I've seen these videos where people they see a skinwalker or a rake or whatever, and I'm always strapped. And if I saw something like that coming at me, I don't care. I would unload on it For real.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to, you just would have to. It makes you think twice about going out in the woods, and once you know that stuff like that's out there, man, it really changes your perspective. And then you throw Dogman into the mix, and it's like pretty wild. Me and you, I've never had an encounter with Dogman. I know you haven't either, but
Nope.
that right there is close enough, man. That thing, whew, I don't know, man. And every time you do these lives and we share these stories, I always look at the window back behind you, and it's like, yeah, I keep waiting for something to pop up.
Well, I don't have.
So,
I took a POW MIA flag and put it over my window.
I saw that.
And then what you see in the background right now is kind of covering the closet door.
Yeah.
It's the greatest football team in the world, the Seattle Seahawks. So,
oh, come on now, come on.
Name a better one.
Well, it's a college team, it's the Arkansas Razorbacks.
What?
I mean, yeah, you can't get better than the Razorbacks. Okay, because we're not very good, but go Razorbacks. Anyways, Ash's to antics at most Dogman encounters aren't bad from what I heard. Now, you've got to be kidding, because the only good encounter I've ever heard is one that Daniel came across. The lady sent to him. So, now see, there's a lot of people in here. Woo Pig Suey. That's right. Woo Pig. Guys with this channel, you never know what you're going to get. Listen, on these lives, these are not structured. We get these stories. We like to interact with the people in the chat. So if you're watching this after the live and you're wondering why this is so different, that's why. We always have a good time. We like to interact with people. And also, I want to say thanks to everybody that is members of this channel, members of Daniel's channel, that have just supported both of us on this journey. We're really grateful and thankful for that. But I got a video, man. This video is really interesting to me. So to kind of lay the background, we've played it before, but there is an eagle's nest, and I can't remember where this was captured. Yeah, it's good. But it's stationary. It said, watch this eagle's nest. And watch right underneath this nest. Check this out. Let us know what you guys think. It's definitely bipedal. Definitely, I would say not a man in the suit. It's too, I don't know, man. It looks real to me.
It's too fluid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, 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 very fluid. It's just, I don't know. That one is very compelling to me. Let's see. Wade wants to know if we've heard the story of a guy who worked in remote towers and got attacked by what sounded like a rake-like creature. He shot it in the chest. The head thought it was dead, started to climb down. No, I've not heard that. That's pretty wild, though, man. That is pretty wild. I'm sure some of the stuff those guys sees is really, really crazy.
Kimberly wants to fight me. Why? I don't know, but yeah, she wants to fight me.
That's hilarious. So Daniel sent me this video. I don't know the backstory. I don't think he ever found out either, but talking about stuff looking in windows and stuff, guys. Check this out. This one, awesome. This one gets me. It really does. Imagine waking up and seeing that looking out or looking in.
I'm gonna be 100. I'm gonna be 100% honest with everybody in this channel. All 126 of you guys watching this right now. I would absolutely love to see that happening at my house. That would be one of the greatest things ever. I would take video and pictures just like this guy did, That is amazing. And here's the thing. At first, when I very first saw it, I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm like, man, that's fake as you know what. That is bunk. That's what that is. That's straight Boulder Dash. And then I started watching it again because it popped up again. And then I watched it, and then you saw its eyes blink, and you had the reflection. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, listen,
No,
Wade, I got my window covered up, buddy, so it ain't gonna work.
That's hilarious, man. Scott, I think too, man. I think that's real too. It really has I don't know, something about it that looks really genuine. Looks real. Looks very inquisitive in its eyes. You know, I didn't get a lot of malice
Yeah.
from that. Like, I didn't think it was like, you know, wanted any kind of. I just
Nope.
think it was curious.
I think I think the backstory on this is, and again, if anybody knows, please correct me, but I've heard a couple of things. From what I understand, this person was watching TV and they caught it at first, and then they set a camera, like their phone up, and they were recording the window, and it started showing itself up again and watching the TV.
Weird, man.
So whenever I go out in the woods,
so weird.
I'm going to make sure I have a spare TV with me so I can put it right out near a window and then set up a camera so I can get. So I'm talking about. I'm serious.
Make sure you put a good show on so it enjoys it. So that's great.
I'll put like Discovery Channel on or Animal Planet.
That's hilarious. Frida, I think I agree with you. Frida doesn't want to see anything. Blackout curtains. That's great. Yeah, there was I wanted to tell you, man, I don't know if you caught this or not, but where did it go? There's a comment directed to you. Francis says, "Thank you for telling your story. You put them right there." So,
Francis, thank you so much. Let's see, me guys. That's not my Bigfoot or my sighting or my encounters with Sasquatch. That's completely something different. And honestly, I've only been terrified 2 times in my life when I experienced something I wasn't sure. One was that one. That was in, like I said, the summer of '89. And then another one was May, June timeframe of '92. And that was my last encounter overall. And if you want to hear that encounter, it's on my podcast. It's also on Josh's.
Yeah, pretty intense stuff, guys. Like, he's had some really intense encounters, and it changes you. It changes your perspective, and especially, when you have an encounter with somebody, especially if you're with somebody, you're connected, and so it definitely connects you together forever, and it changes your perspective. It has mine. Like, my outlook on the woods and everything has completely changed. But got some more videos, man. We're gonna go through this. I love showing this stuff with you guys. I'm just trying to remember which one I want to pull up next. Let's check this one out. I cannot remember what it is. These are all Bigfoot encounters, but let me know what you guys think about this one. What do you think, Daniel?
I watched another podcast. I wish I could remember what it was, but you saw how it kind of circled the area around the legs. It's something to do with the measurement of the knee and like the ankle or something like that, on how the degree of when it lands or something like that. And these people, they sat there and they looked at, they could not find anything wrong with this, saying that it was maybe a hoax or anything. The way that it moved, the way that it picked up its feet and put them down. That's pretty crazy.
It is. It reminds me of the movement of Patty a little bit, just a little bit. It's different color than Patty, and it doesn't look like Patty, but the way that it moved reminded me of that. So it looked legit to me. I mean, it really did. If you look at the way it
And
You know, Frida,
Renee
I
goes,
think,
they choose you.
yeah, I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I think
Mhm.
they choose you. And I think sometimes, people just happen to be at the right place at the right time. A lot of roadside crossings, which I still can't wrap my head around why these things are so elusive, but yet they will run out in front of cars like they did with mine. Like, I still don't understand that. But I don't know. I've talked to a lot of people that once you see these creatures, I know I'm one of those. I know Daniel is. You see it once, your odds of seeing it again go way, way up. I don't know if it's just because you're more aware of them, or if they actually are. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. But
Well,
um,
I had one person like call me out and you're a liar, you're a hoaxer, your stories are made up. There's no way that you've had so many encounters and this and this and this. Okay, I come from a broken home. Right, my parents were divorced when I was young. I lived with my dad primarily. He was a single parent for a long time. What is a single dad who works 16 hours a day? Is he supposed to watch his kids the whole time? Back when I was a kid, I was a latchkey kid at 5,
yeah,
6 years old. I remember coming
yeah,
home from school in elementary school and unlocking the door. I learned to cook before I was 10. I knew how to cook meals and stuff for my little brother. So me and my brother would go out and just do tons of stuff. We would explore everything and anything around us,
yeah.
and so that's why I have a lot of encounters. That's why, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have, you know, I think we had like a Atari 2600 was like the most high tech thing we had. You know,
Yeah,
if it was raining outside, we were listening to music, or we were reading books, or we were coloring or making things with popsicle sticks.
man. I wish.
Nowadays.
Yeah, kids today, man, they don't understand. Like, we had it really good. We grew up at a great time, man.
Mhm.
Really, really great time. So,
Hey, Glenn, nice seeing you too.
yeah, good to see you. It's a strange world. The only thing I can say is there's a lot in God's universe I don't understand. It's the only answer that I know for sure is that I just can't. I don't know about you, but I always walk away with way more questions than I do answers with this stuff. And every time I interview somebody, when I think I've got something figured out, there's something new, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't get that. But it's a lot of fun. It's fun to sit here and learn, and I hope you guys are enjoying these lives and enjoying my channel and Daniel's channel. We love doing this, and we just love the fact that you guys are here and so supportive. We've got a great community, and it's a lot of fun. We got some big stuff coming down the pipeline. Me and Daniel talked about for a while that we're working on, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have something up and going with that. But I got a couple other videos, man, I want to show that are just really interesting to me. Let's see if I can find this other one. All right. That
I
one.
I absolutely love that's Memorial Day. I think it's either 4th of July, Memorial Day footage. Um, you guys, I don't care if anybody calls me crazy. That's Sasquatch. That looks almost identical to Patty. And at the last time you see when she picks up the infant and runs, the last time you see her before she goes out of frame, you can see that infant turn its head away not towards the camera, but away, and it kind of pushed off of its mom. I'm telling you, I love that footage. I love it.
It's crazy. That's a good one. That one's really good. It's gonna be hard to debunk that one. And what's cool about this stuff, guys, is this is all pre-AI. This is like all before that any of that stuff. And so it's really cool to have that kind of footage. And you know, I mean, it's pretty that's pretty real to me. I don't know.
Hey, real quick, I just want to shout out to Renee. Renee, you said 40 plus years of logging. My grandfather was a logger up in Alaska. I would love for you to please shoot me an email. Please shoot me an email, and I'd like to hear some of your stories and potentially have you on my show. Because I know you, if you got 40 years in the woods, yeah, you've definitely heard and seen things. I know you said you had a screamer or a couple of screamers at one of your camps. So for sure.
It's a wild world out there. You know, I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff, and you know, we get videos sent to us all the time, and sometimes we can share them, and sometimes we can't. But it's a really interesting thing to sit here and get to see some of this evidence that's out there, because there's some crazy stuff. This one, I have to show this one because Steamboat sent that to Daniel, and Daniel got this posted, and that's how we come across it and ended up on this show. This footage, guys, is crazy. This is a big guy. I mean, he's big, and just the way he walks. That fence is 8 foot tall, right?
Steamboat, if you're still in, this fence is Samson.
Yeah,
This is Samson, and yeah, I think he said it's 8 feet tall. And again, I've had people. I put this on my TikTok, and I got like 184,000 views on this video.
Awesome.
And I hear everything from, oh my gosh, that's incredible, to the fence is not 8 feet tall. That's a blob. That's a person in a suit. Yeah. So Samson, the 10 foot, he's 10 feet tall. And let me kind of set it up for you. So Steamboat, who's in the chat, is a good friend of ours. He has a buddy of his in East Texas, and he mentioned to Steamboat, hey man, I think I got something going on out behind my property. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, I believe I saw a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch. So he has a security camera that's up in the eave or whatever of the house. And he said it's about 100 feet from where the camera is to the fence. You're going to want to pay attention to the left part of the screen. You'll see a big shadow area. What you're seeing is the light source must be like a floodlight or security light that's flashing or on from the left. And so you're going to see a shadow, but you have to look really careful, because if you're looking at the video, you'll see where the fence goes like out towards the back where this is being filmed. And then there's like a fence post there. If you look really close right in that area, you'll see Samson. I'm just going to call him Samson. You'll see Samson. And then it kind of goes off, you'll see the shadow as he's moving. And then he bends down, does something, stands back up, and walks back in front of the camera, back across the back of the fence, and then back into the shadow. And I'll explain to you what he was doing when he made it to the right side of the fence, right side of the screen.
All right, guys, here we go. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, man.
I wish there was a way to zoom that in, because there are 2 spots along the back when he's walking. You can see its face. You can see its face. Now, what it was doing is that the owner of this house also was having issues with I believe they were raccoons that he was having issues with. So what happened was, those old refrigerator shelves from like the 60s and the 70s that are all like steel grated looking shelves. The owner had taken some of those and like fastened together with like cables and so from what I understand, the owner is not a small person. He's kind of a big guy. And he stood on what he had made was a live trap. And he stood on this trap to make sure it was going to be secure enough so it couldn't get just ripped, taken, blown apart, whatever. And it held perfectly fine. So what Samson did was he came out from the left, moved right across to the right, saw that there was a live trap. There was a raccoon in that live trap. He bent down and he peeled the top of this live trap back like it was a sardine can. Reached in, grabbed the raccoon, and decided to have takeout for the night.
Wow. It's wild. I've watched that video so many times, man. It's hard to wrap your mind around that stuff. But it's definitely, that looks as legit as you're going to get. And of course, having the backstory, knowing the people behind it, that helps a lot. So pretty wild stuff. I love to get this kind of evidence, guys. If you've got something like that you would like to send me or Daniel, please send it to me. You can email me at mysteriesunknownpodcast@gmail.com. Daniel, what's your email address, buddy?
The Cryptid Podcast 72. So the Cryptid Podcast 72@gmail.com.
It's awesome. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this live tonight. It's been a minute. I think Daniel said it was, 6 weeks since our last one?
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly, something like that. A lot of stuff's been going on, but we're going to try to do this more regularly and look for these on Thursdays. And we'll try to let you guys know. Daniel does a great job of letting everybody know that we're going to be doing this. But Scott, thanks for the support. Thanks for all the new members. Renee, thanks for the gift. I appreciate everybody that has supported this channel, supported Daniel's channel. Make sure, honestly, guys, listen, if you love this channel, you are going to absolutely love Daniel's channel. Please go check him out. The Cryptid Podcast. It is such a phenomenal channel. And this podcast, my channel wouldn't be where it's at today without him. So, and his support and just, it's been awesome. But it's good to see everybody. Ashes, it's great to see you. Frida, always good to see you and all the familiar faces. You guys are awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Monday's episode, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a really good one. It's going to drop at 11 o'clock Central Time. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be a great, great episode. So, as always, if you got anything that you want to send it to me at mysteriesunknownpodcast@gmail.com. Frida, thank you. I think we made a good team too. Scott, I appreciate that. There he is right there, the Cryptid Podcast. Make sure to check him out. But you got anything you want to say before we hop off here, man?
Again, thanks everybody. The Cryptid Podcast 72@gmail.com. If you'd like to come on the show, share your encounters. Amanda and Renee, I definitely would love to hear from you guys. So please send me an email, the Cryptid Podcast 72@gmail.com. And before he says his send off, I want to say my send off. You guys remember, every legend begins with a sighting. You guys have a great night. Thanks for stopping by.
Awesome. You guys are great. Thanks for being here, supporting my channel, Daniel's channel. And we are really appreciative of that. And just, sending your encounters and trusting us with your time and your encounters. And just hope you guys enjoyed that. And I promise it won't be as long until we do the live again next time. But you guys are great. I'm going to say it. Can never get off here without doing it. Stay prayed up, guys. We'll see you in the next episode.